Hi, I'm Kento. I've taken part in DMZ's first art tournament, and this is what I brought. So what I brought today is Dark Angel Paris Captain, and I wanted to customize a bit the model without exaggerating too much on the kit bashing that I was doing. So what I did to modify the specific model here is I took the Deathwing's Sergeant's wings, I cut them, I tried two helmets, so one was where the wings would come a little bit lower, and this specific model that I introduced to the tournament instead is one where I set the wings a little bit higher. It actually balanced the head a little bit better. And I think it looks really good. So, paint-wise, what I did is I used multiple techniques. My base coat was done with an airbrush. I used Caliban green mixed with some Vallejo paint thinner and flow improver, and I mixed after I finished my base coat, then I added some more lighter green, which in this case I used GW stock green, and up until I reached a point where I was happy, then I just added a little bit of yellow to give that a little bit of more popping green color. Particular feature about this miniature is I tried my first non-metal metal, and I have to say that I love non-metal metal. It just gives that character to the whole miniature. It just makes it special on the field. What concerns the gold, so the non-metal metal and gold, I used 5 colors. I used GW brown, and I used the Vallejo yellow and Vallejo white. I started with the shield in particular because the shield had a lot of flat surfaces, so very geometrically simple non-metal metal to do. So I used that as an experiment to try and get the rest of the miniature done. Light effect on the power sword instead was done in airbrush. So what I did is I used some blue tack to cover up the arm, which I painted earlier, and I used masking tape to cover half of it and do half first, let it dry, and then I did the other half. So what you get is you can get on one side you can simply do the 2 highlights on the bottom, and then once you've done that, cover it, then you do the single highlight at the top. This technique can be multiplied. Obviously, you can do infinite numbers of white highlights at the bottom. The thing that I did on this miniature that I never had done in my life is I actually painted the purity seals. So the purity seals, when it comes to painting the words on it, I saw some pictures of other people that have painted some beautiful Primaris captains, and they wrote a lot of big initials. So usually you would have the I stands for appear or position. Once I finished the entire miniature, I tried to look if there was any imperfections, and I actually had to retouch here and there a couple of times. But definitely, I'm sold on writing on the scrolls. That it just adds that special key to the miniature. And I mean, anybody can write whatever they want. It doesn't necessarily have to be Latin. It could be anything you name. If you want to name a character that you put on a game, on the field, you can have even your name. I mean, I think that makes the miniature yours special. When it comes down to the base, so I actually found this in a hobby shop in Hong Kong. They're in Mongkok. They had it for very cheap, so I got it. It's in wood, It has padded button size, so it doesn't scratch, it doesn't slip. It's actually really well done. For what concerns the base, I tried the various techniques. This is actually a marble technique that I used to do when I was working back in Italy. The process actually is very simple. So I spray painted the base after I built it. So to build the base, the stairs, what I did, I bought Tamiya's 0.2 millimeter plastic sheets. I cut out the base, so the square base, and then I actually started layering on top. So lucky for me, I did architecture in high school, so I actually knew how to put pieces together, reinforce them in the right place. And once I had more or less what I wanted, I put everything together, I sprayed everything. So everything was already on the base when I started painting the base, except for the two marble Primaris Marines. And the technique that I use to make this base is not that complicated, as I was saying. So I sprayed black the base, and I used Vallejo teal color to make, let's say, the base color. So I mixed black, teal color, and then white to make the highlights. And I didn't do the entire base, I did some spots here and there. What I did afterwards, and this is actually very interesting, is I used baby wipes. So baby wipes are great because you can stretch them in one way, not the other way. So I teared out part of the baby wipes so that it leaves some space for the paint to seep through. So once you tear that out, it doesn't need to be very tidy. The messier it is, the better. You just apply it on top of the miniature, or on top of the surface that you want to apply the effect on, and then you spray lighter color. Usually it can be whites if you're doing a very light colored marbles, or you can be the other way around. Once the paint is dry, you remove the baby wipe, and I wasn't really happy how the final look was. So I added some lines, so free-handed some lines here and there, black lines to show cracked parts, or white lines to show some veins in the marbling. And I finished everything up with a gloss finish by Tamiya, 2 layers of gloss. And this is the final effect. I did the Marines in the same way, the Primaris Marines in the same way. I think that this specific technique works much better on flat surfaces than on curved surfaces. So I probably have to research a little bit more of that. For what concerns the trees, I used woodland scenics. They had fall trees, and then I used some grass elements from all these woodland scenics. And well, yeah, I mean, you can't have a Primaris captain without his little guy holding his secondary sword, so I put him in there. And yeah, I think overall it was a very good experience. So, Fidem Erga Imperatorem, it's Latin for loyalty to the emperor, which I would use it in an ironic way because, Dark Angels are known to be a little bit iffy in their actions. So, yeah, I mean, even the word Fidelis on the shield means loyalty, so it can be taken 2 ways. I mean, people give their own interpretations of the lore. So, yeah, I like to think that, they are loyal, but there's always that element of